I got a request to do the third and final farm in Alma, the small cattle farm right outside of town. Let's do this. Well, hello and welcome to the Stover Farm Channel. We're so glad to have you here with us. We're at the corner of Goodwin and Topple School Road, just outside of Alma city limits at this beautiful little cow farm. And I got a request if I could build this to something slightly different. So let's do it a speed build. I'll show you where I'm at. We are in the lower left-hand corner of Alma, right here. And before we start, I think I actually need to buy the map. So it's approximately $295,000. Let's go ahead and buy it. That gives us field 35. I'd probably also buy 36. We'll buy that as well. And we're not worried about money because, well, we're using EasyDev. We're on a PC. And here are the rules. So I give myself 60 minutes to do this. I have not pre-built this map, although I will say this. I actually had to kind of think about this for a little bit prior because this is one of the, I think, nicest farms on the map. It's really cozy. I love the decorative detail. It's almost perfect, and I didn't really want to mess with it. Then I thought, you know what does this look like to you? Well, to me, this screams hobby farm, and I don't mean that in a bad way either. What this looks like is something you found on Zillow. The family likely just came into a bunch of money, maybe inheritance, maybe they won that big $1.5 billion lottery, and they bought it. They paid cash. They have no clue what they're doing other than they want a farm, and they really don't want cows, they want horses, so we're going to give them horses. Because of that, I'm going to spend, I think, more time on the house and the barns than I am the fields, because the fields are perfect. They're nicely sized. You've got a really nice little pond down here, and I don't really want to mess with it. Now, as always, this is live. Well, live to tape. But if I mess up, I mess up. If the computer crashes, the computer crashes. I hope to not have to do cuts or anything like that. And I have no way to prove it, but you'll just have to take my word for it. Again, I did not pre-build this farm. We're going to do this all from scratch. So here we go. Let me set the timer up real quick. And 60 seconds on the clock. It has started. So I usually always start by deleting things I don't want. And I've mentioned it in the previous videos. The modder of this map did a really, really great job of making all of these independent. So you can sell stuff you don't want. You can keep stuff that you do want. I can't sell the cow barn. Why can't I get rid of the cow barn? Oh, no. This could be our first difficult. If I sell that, so those are the decorative items. Can I not get rid of the cow barn? Why can't I do that? Well, we might have to have a cow barn then, folks. I don't know. I think I have a way around it, though. So I'm going to sell that, the Quonset. I don't really love those. My guess would be, is it that? No, I just can't sell the cow barn. Okay, well, I mean, that happens. We're going to work around it. We're still going to give these folks some horses. They're just probably also going to be cows on the farm, too. So get rid of that. Get rid of everything I don't want. And that is about it. I am going to go in just because I want to start fresh. I'm using a PC, so I am going to go into EasyDev, and I'm going to delete some trees. So in EasyDev, if you are on Mac or PC, you can go to the Delete Objects input. You can say OK. I like to also turn on my speed multiplier. This lets me run around a little easier, and with the click of a button, I am deleting trees. Now, if you don't have a Mac or PC, there are some other mods out there that can let you delete things fairly quickly. The Lumberjack mod. And then there is also Tree Be Gone. Tree Be Gone will help your trees go away very quickly. You can also just do it the old-fashioned way if you want. That's with a chainsaw, and then go buy one of those big mulchers, throw it on the front of a tractor, and you can get rid of the stumps quite easily. These trees, we're just going to left-click, and they're gone. Now, I've already thrown a wrench into this build, and that is I've got to keep this cow farm. So, okay. We'll see what we can do. So, oh, you know what? I bet. Hold on. I think I might know the reason. I think it's because I have cows. So let me go in here and look. I do. Okay, so watch this. I might have solved the problem here. So I'm going to select these. I've got how many of them? 25. I'm going to sell those. Gone. Then I'm going to come in and select those, sell those. Gone. I no longer have cows. I bet you this is now going to... Yep, there you go. So I had animals. That's a really good point to make. I had animals. The game was not going to let me sell the stable without getting rid of those animals. Whew. Okay. We don't have to, like, come up with some BS workaround for that. Again, wasn't an issue with the map. No issues at all. It was just the way the game works. I had to remember what the heck I was doing. Now we're just left with this big nothingness. And like with all past maps that I've done, I like to go in and I just paint grass because I'm going to make my own driveways. So we're going to very quickly get rid of things. I might keep this just for reference right there, and I'm probably also going to keep this kind of like that. Do this, just get rid of all that. Probably don't want this. And I don't necessarily want this down here. And now that I think about it, I'm probably going to chop it right here. Because again, I want this to be a, I don't know, think again, wealthy, just want a ton of money, have no clue what they're doing. They know they want to farm, but they have no clue about farming. In the last step, I'm just going to throw down good old meadow grass because this is really more of a speed option than anything. It helps us with the details of making sure our area has grass around it. Our placeables have grass around them. Especially when we place them down, they might repaint some of the area, but at least it's easier to come back in and paint with a small brush than it is to go around like really small brush trying to get all the little nooks and crannies. And I hate to do this to this area because this was the coolest area, I thought, with those... I don't know if they were... I think they were hay bales. Excuse me. But I'm going to get rid of that. So sorry to the modder, the map maker. This was really, really cool. And now it's kind of like, oh my gosh, this is sad. That's okay. We're gonna fix it here pretty quick. Let's put a house down. Let's actually do the house that was over on the original large farm of this map. Mod Maker's got it in here. It is right there. Alma, Missouri, US. Now, I don't think we can change the color. No, we can't. But that is okay. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to put this about right there. I like that. Okay? Now, let's take a look at our leveling. And we've got a little bit of a slope headed down toward the street, and that's okay. What I am going to do with this house is I'm going to put a big deck on the back, and I want a nice swimming pool. There aren't many swimming pools. In fact, if I think about it, there aren't any swimming pools for all platforms, so you have to make one. I've actually got a tutorial out there on how you can do it. I'm going to follow those same steps for this. But one thing we have to be cognizant of to do this is the actual ground has to be as flat as possible. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to flatten this out just to a point, because then I'll come in with the smoothing tool and I'm going to smooth this out. And I also have to be cognizant of the time here. Let's check the time. How long are we into this? We are approximately 6 minutes and 40 seconds into this build. Again, we're in Alma, Missouri, the final map, the final farm on the map. Got requested to do this, and I'm happy to do it because I absolutely love these farm builds. I think they're just kind of relaxing. I don't know about you, but that's the amazing thing about this game is you don't necessarily have to farm. You can farm, you can build. But isn't it cool a game could be so popular and, like, it's not violent? There's really no storyline, but it's so entertaining. Okay, here we go. The house is there. I've flattened this out. I want to put a deck on the back. So what I like to use is I come into my decorations tab, and in my others, there is a all platform mod. And again, I try to use all platform mods if I can in these builds, but it is a bridges pack, and this bridges pack has some wooden bridges in it. Now, the cool thing about this is you can just lay them straight on the ground, and what do they look like? They look like a patio. So you can just make your own patio. I'm going to come in here and just slightly raise that up, maybe to right there. Yeah, like that. We'll drop it down. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to allow it to kind of auto level itself right there, just like that. And then, okay, so we've got the first part of the deck done. I think I'll put the pool actually out here. Maybe like put some trees around it. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So we're going to put a pool in. We got to dig a pool first. And how do we do that? We'll go into landscaping. And we're actually going to lower the area ever so slightly. We don't want to lower it too much because we don't want a really deep pool, but we want a bit of a pool here. So we're just going to lower it a little bit. Maybe just a touch more. Okay, and then we're going to come into our flattening or our leveling tool. And we're going to level that out to really whatever size pool you want. And we don't have to go too crazy here. I'm trying to get as plumb of an area as possible here. And we can actually come up and take a look, and that's not terrible. It's pretty good. Like that. To better define the area we're working on, though, I'm going to come into landscape and painting, and I'm going to actually put... Does it have... No, there's no, like, decorative tile or anything. That's okay. It's going to be a concrete bottom pool. So we'll just go ahead and pour the concrete real fast here. And now you can start to see those edges clearly define themselves. Okay, and lastly, what we can do, we can come back into the sculpting tool, into our flattening. Let's change the, go from circle to a square. We're going to increase the strength. And I'm just going to try and make these as square as possible. You're not going to make them perfect because the game won't allow you to do that. But we can be as precise as possible. And I'm just holding down on the left mouse button to make that work. So the pool, it does have a bit of a contour to it. And we can actually fix this because it's less contoured over here, it's more contoured over here. If I just slowly come over a little bit, this might... Yes, I think it did. So now, we made the pool a little wider, but I think the contour is actually better. I like that. Okay, back into painting. Let's go ahead and paint some concrete. Now what do? Well, we kind of have to work backwards on this. We have to think about things we want in or around the pool. And I want lights in my pool. So I'm going to come into decorations, lighting, and just find whatever lights I want. These actually work really well. They're part of the Elk Mountain Ranch set. That is not all platforms, but don't worry. There's tons of light options that you can find in the in-game mod hub. Many that do this exact same thing. So we're just going to try and be as, symmetrical as possible here. Doesn't need to be perfect, but it's not perfect. But we don't have time. So there's that. Now we need to drop water in. Actually, no, we need to put the concrete down. So put the water in, we probably won't be able to put the concrete on top of it. So let's do that. Let me go into Decorations, other. Concrete plate. This is another all-platform mod. Now, what's going to happen here is it's going to say it's overlapping with another object. That's okay. I'm going to hit my V key on keyboard, and it's going to turn off that error. And now I can actually come in, and you can see what it does. It allows me to put this anywhere. And I actually need to do one last thing. Oops, that's okay. Get rid of that. Yes. A little quick on the trigger there. I want to make this flat. So I want to come over here. I want this elevation to go all the way up to the house, like that. I want to make sure the outside of my pool is at that elevation. And it is now. It wasn't before, but it is now. Okay, back to decorations. Other. I want that concrete slab. Where did it go? There it is. Now, see what it did there? There was just a little bit of the ground that was popping out. I didn't like it. Hit V. That allows me to put these anywhere. Now I can just come and slowly start building out my perimeter of my pool. And again, this is a workaround for really not having any type of pool options for all platforms. It's not going to be perfect, but it is going to be cool. There we go. So we're doing the outer perimeter of the pool. And all I'm doing with this is I'm trying to get this to line up. And see, if I'm down here, even though I turned off the auto, I guess what are they called? The free mode. So I turned that off. It's still gonna base its elevation on the terrain it's on. So I can increase it by using my cursor over as that slope goes up. But when I get to here, I want it to be flat. So I'm just doing my best. Again, this isn't going to be perfect, but I'm doing my best to make this flat. Just like that. And that's the really cool thing about this game is we are, kind of forced at times to be creative like this. What are we going to do here? Well, I don't think I want to go like that. I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees. And I think I'm going to come in here like this. And again, I'm keeping that auto leveling off. If I were to turn auto leveling on, you would get some nasty changes in your elevation. Uh-oh, is the computer going to freeze? No, it didn't. Okay, that was good. Now what do we do here? We're going to guesstimate, and we're going to try and get this over and lining up so we have a nice plumb patio. So there you go, concrete patio for the pool. I like that. I like that a lot. Now we can put water in it if we'd like. But, we might actually wait just a little bit because what do you have to have on a pool? Well, you've got to have a railing. More than likely, our guests are going to be up here. We need a railing up there as well, but we want to be within code. So I'm going to come into landscaping, and I'm going to pull in my decorative items. Probably like a wrought iron fence. Yes, just like that. Okay, we probably come off there, so we won't fence that in, but we will do this. Now here, this is an issue. I can't put fencing on top of this placeable. So what do you do? Well, you put it on the ground next to it. And this is why I had to have the ground layer as flat as possible, because I'm going to come in here and we're just going to simulate having this really nice deck right here. And we're going to just go as close as we can. And now that says it's collide, so how do we fix that? I'm going to come back here, I'm going to delete that one post, because it's more than likely that one post was just too close. And I'm going to come back, and I'm going to take it to about right there. Now I can move this down to there. Here. To there. And, you know, I am sorry. I'm going to be obsessed on that if I don't fix this. So let's fix this. I want it to be the height of this. And you can get over on your placeables. It won't hurt anything. But I want that height to continue down here. So we're just going to do that. Now I can go back over to my fencing. And we can drop this in. More than likely, I would think we would have, like, a gate here. Maybe. Like, stop it right there. Yeah, okay. I like that. Now, let's put water in. So, in your decorative items, there is an entire pack of water planes for all platforms on the in-game mod hub. You can choose what you want. You're going to have to find the right size. And it's just a little bit of trial and error. We don't want it too big, because if we go too big, sometimes the game gets grumpy and it won't let you put other items down. So I think like this one is too small. This one's a little too big. Do we have any other options? That's way too big. We don't really care about the size or the shape, just as long as... Yeah, that might actually work. And we're just going to put it in. So we don't want to see the water come up over the right or left side going above the plane. We want to bring it down below the plane. Ever so slightly. I think that'll work. Now we have a pool. And you can kind of mess around with this a little bit. So, like, if you don't like what that looks like right there, come back into your decorative items. Find more concrete or find something else that you might want to place on the ground. And you can come back. And you might have to delete the water because you can see how it's now trying to float on the water. So you just delete your water. That's fine. Come back in. Now we can put it on here, and it's going to, after some trial and error, actually fit properly. We can rotate this way 180 degrees. 1 and 2. And drop that like that. Now, this is where, you know, it's up to you. You do what you would like to do. This starts to get a little tedious because you're going to have to start placing items kind of halfway shown and over on top of each other. But if you're cautious, it will work. Just like that. Okay. And you could do the same thing down here if you wanted to make this a little more like it's an actual pool and doesn't have like a contour to it. Yeah, let's do that real fast. Where this does become problematic, I could see, is, you know, if you're on console and you've got slot counts. But I believe once you add one item, and I think these are like really low slot counts, aren't all the subsequent items free? I don't know, someone will have to tell me that. I don't remember. Or I guess not free, but they don't take up additional slots. I could be wrong on that, though. Okay. Now, this is where you have to, we have to watch the time, but we also have to soothe our mind and try and make this as good as possible, and that works for me. Okay, I love that. Very nice. We now have a nice porch with a pool. But we need to decorate a little bit, so come in here. Let's soften this up. Again, money is no object. We've got Easy Dev on. There's like $28 million in our account. What I want to do here is I want to make a little pathway. So I'm going to come back into decorations. I'm going to check our time. How are we doing? 22 minutes. We got to go. We got to go. Landscaping. Decoration. Got to go, folks. I want the quintessential fence for a walkway. And I'm actually going to put this like this. I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to start to contour it around this hill that I created out here. And I'm going to try to be symmetrical if I can. I might not be able to. That's okay. If we had more time, we could. And to there, and we said we'd probably have a walkway there as well. Okay. Very good. Now what are we going to do? Well, we're going to put down some paint. So we're going to come into paint, and I'm going to put just forest ground down. I like forest ground for when I'm adding... whoa. Out of control. That's okay. We'll put grass back down there. Go. I'm really glad I don't have to work around the cows, that we figured that little debacle out, because that would have taken precious time. And again, I'm not trying to be super perfect right there, because I'm going to probably come back in and make that correct. We'll come into our plants, we'll take our meadow grass, we'll now come in, and since this isn't a paint, it's just a little more forgiving. We just put that right around there. And it's completely fine if it comes into the landscaping, because that's what happens with grass. It grows everywhere. Now, these folks, again, being multimillionaires and like pseudo-farmers, they probably would have someone coming in and doing all of this for them. Okay, so I like that. Now, we've got to put stuff in here, though. So, like, probably some bushes. Let's do bushes first. So trees, and I'm sure it would be, like, all nice and symmetrical. Maybe, like, on that side. And same way on this side. I like to rotate these a little bit instead of just, like, dropping them down. It just makes them a little less uniform. A little more realistic. Okay, now I think a really big tree, like a big old elm, could sit right here, give you really nice shade. It would be awful getting all of this in the pool, but that's okay. I like that. Now, let's put some plants in here. Just little dabs of plants. Little happy plants. Never going to let me live that down. I couldn't remember his name. And again, my mind right now. Bob Ross. That was him. Yep. See, I didn't forget. I did not forget. Okay. And this is 100% subjective, up to you. Did I say that right? Is it objective or subjective? Get in my mind. Like you want orange flowers? Sure, put orange flowers in there. This is where, if you have unlimited time, you can really make this how you want it. But we don't have unlimited time. We might put, a couple of blues in there. Just like that. Okay, there we go. You know what this is missing, though? This is missing, like, a rock. So let's go into my decorative items, in fences. I don't know why they show up in fences, but for whatever... Nope, they don't. They're in landscaping. For me, they're in plants. Let's find a rock that might be a little too big of a rock. That's probably a little too big as well, but that's not bad. Just kind of, I don't know. I love any of these. Okay, I don't mind that. Maybe like that with that on top of it, or beside it, or something like that. Just kind of a little rock garden right here. There we go. Okay. Just got a little rock garden right there. And then, more than likely, again, because we have tons and tons of money, there's probably going to be some type of lights. So I'm going to go back to my de facto Elk Mountain light set, and I'm just going to sprinkle some lights back here. And maybe when we're all done, I will push the time forward and we can see what all this looks like, because the pool actually looks pretty cool when you go. Lights under the water. How's our time? How are we doing? Are we going to get this done? Oh my gosh, we're 30 minutes into this. Gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. Okay, what do we got to do over here? I think for the sake of time, we're going to just come in landscaping trees. We're going to put some just bushy trees over here. So like this, that. Probably these like small ones. That. There we go. Gives you some privacy when you're on the porch. Okay, I like this. I like where we're going with this. Let's put the water in. Let's go back to our decorations. And we use that circular plane. I think that worked the best. Where's it at? There they are. There's that one. And I think by adding those additional concrete pads, we have helped ourselves a little bit. Just again, trying to find the sweet spot. Okay. Let's run up there real fast and let's see what this looks like. We've got our house. Again, this is the house that came from Alma. And oh yeah, we got a pool. I love it. Okay, and again, a few imperfections, but we don't have time. We got to go. What I want to do now is I want to put some garages in, because, again, a big house like this, we're going to have a lot of cars. So I'm going to go into sheds, and I'm going to find that one shed that I liked. It was already part of Alma. Where are you? I know you're here. Maybe. I think I already passed it. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Going a little too fast. Slow it down. Where's it at? Where did it go? This is the one frustrating thing about... there it is. God, I just passed it. I think this is probably going to match this pretty well. But I'm going to do kind of the garage behind look here. So, like 1 and 2. Because we're going to have a ton of cars. Now, what did that do? See how it popped up right there? That's okay. That is okay. We are going to come back in. We're going to delete these. And we're going to come into our flattening tool once again. And I'm just going to flatten this area right here. Probably at the level of the house. Just that little area. Because now I can see the actual footprint of what the garage is going to be. So that helps me know where I need to go. Now I can come back in here to my buildings. I can find it. Hopefully I'll find it faster this time. It's right over here, right there. Now we drop this down, and these are going to be on the same plane as the house. Again, I get that little notification, the overlapping. I'm just going to get it where I want it, turn that off, drop it down, and we're in good shape. Now, what do we do here? We need to put in the rest of our grass. So we're going to paint some grass in. Paint a little grass in. I might even put a walkway over here. This is where we're saving a ton of time. If we had not just painted grass down, we would have had to come back in here with a really tiny brush and gone into some of these really tight spaces. And we're still kind of doing that, but again, the larger part of the yard is taken care of. Okay, there we go. You know, and I realized we started at like 6 minutes, I think. So doesn't that give me 6 extra minutes to work on this? I think it might. That would be very, very helpful. So here. Okay, now what are we going to do here? Well, we need a driveway. Now, because of the wealth of the folks that have bought this home, I think they would more than likely have a concrete driveway. And fortunately, it is right in the correct... You know what I'm going to do? Hold on. It's slightly off, and there's a little bit of a hump right there. So I'm going to... Just going to smooth this out a little bit right there. I think I'm actually going to pull the driveway over just a little bit. So back in my painting, to my paint my grass, I'm just going to, you know, I should have just done this in the beginning. There we go. Okay, now back to my plants. Drop this in. I feel like this doesn't look like much right now for 30 minutes. It's okay, we're going to get there. Landscaping, painting, into concrete. Now, I want to make this as big as possible. I want to bring one down. And I'm just going to eyeball this, because I want it to be kind of a straight drive. I'm just going to, instead of pulling my mouse, I'm going to do my very best to just keep this as straight as possible. And I didn't succeed, but that is okay. Because we're going to touch it up with just a little bit of rock. So this is what I typically do when, you know, I want something to be really, really straight. And it's, well, we're not going to go there, because we've got to get into that little garage. It's kind of like a little utility area. And put this on the sides. And this just kind of helps fix my mistake. And that's going to kind of turn out like that. And, you know, down here it's probably going to already have some... There we go. I think I might have a little bit of a hump out there, but we'll fix that. Again, just dropping this in. And I hope the mod maker doesn't, or the map maker doesn't hate me for destroying that beautiful farm that was already here. Come back into concrete. And we just kind of have a little... Maybe we keep the lawnmower or something in there. I don't know. In real, all truths, my guess would be the owners would probably like turn that into a room or something like that. But for now, we'll just do that. I like that. We need to have just a little bit here. I like that. Now, I mentioned a walkway here. I want to put in, back over to my decorative items, come over to the standard fencing. This stuff just works so well for... I'm just going to run it through here. That's okay. There's a walkway right there, but I'll show you what I'm going to do. So it's probably not going to let me go too far because that water plane is there. I'm going to go to about there. Stop there. Now there's a path here, so I'm just going to demo that now. Now it worked. I can now bring this over just a touch to about there. Come back into my landscaping with paint. And we'll go ahead and put just a little bit of the forest ground back down. And then you can put in here whatever you want. Flowers, could be really anything. This house does not let you go inside, so, you know, really jazz up the outside. Like that. Now, I'm going to go into decorations, landscaping, painting, and I'm going to do clean gravel here. Just make a nice little pathway. Of the house. Spin that there. Just like that. There we go. We're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. Now, we need to finish this back up here. Now, okay. So we had concrete down. Let's finish our concrete. And let's finish this up. And then we got to move to the stables because we want horse stables. We want horses. We'll make that a little bigger there. This would likely do this. And over here, you know, we might have a little area for like trash cans. Go over here. Turn like that. Come out the back patio. This might be, you know, there might be gravel around the back of this, but, you know, there would be gravel out that far. We probably have this tucked up nicely. Come into our plants. Just like that. Now, what are we going to do back here? We've got our little walkway. Again, decorations, landscaping, painting, clean gravel. We're going to come here. Because we want to kind of make a little path right here. That comes out. And I do really like the wrought iron fencing, so let's grab some more of that. I feel like we could do like this. But I might put the trash over there. Like that. Now, come here to... Yes, that's what we want to do. So you don't have to necessarily put a gate with the corresponding fence, although this, I think... No, that's not the right gate for this. But if you line it up right, you can lay those down and they look almost perfect. You just need to be cognizant of where your collisions are. just like that. Let's put a little bitty tree right there. I feel like a tree would probably be there. And I feel like... what do we have here? I feel like those would be bushes. So let's come into landscaping. No, I'm sorry, decoration fencing. We're going to grab our hedge. I'm just going to throw a hedge up here. And then we might do like a tree there. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Now the driveway, I don't like that right there. Okay, so this I'll show you this. So we're gonna see how our fence is popping up like that. I didn't follow the right. I didn't do it right. So we're gonna just delete it. And I'm going to come back into my fencing, and I'm just going to eyeball it. So I'm going to kind of come a little further away and see, because I want it to be perfectly straight. I'm further away, but I can still connect to it, and now I can see right here where that, and that could potentially do that. Now let's throw maybe a border down the driveway, like this. Feels right. Would it be bordering completely? Yeah, I think it would. In fact, you know, I feel like this would probably do... I don't like to border all my pathways because it makes it ridiculously hard to mow. But I might make an exception here because this kind of feels right. Okay, now we haven't put any trees down. We haven't done anything with decorative items. We haven't done anything with the pastures yet. We want a horse farm, right? We want horses. So we need to get into that. We're going to keep these fields back here. There's the house. I kind of like that house. It's kind of cool. We'll walk around a little bit. I deleted the fencing that went around the entire perimeter of the map. I think I'm going to bring that back in. So I'm going to come off of this. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to make a little... There's kind of already a bit of a gully right there. I think I might make that a little more pronounced. So I'm going to go to the raise and lower tool, and I'm just going to slowly come along here, and I'm making those valleys. What are they called? It's slipping my mind. Let me just take it to like right there. Painting. Now I'm still going to come back in with my plants, and I'm just going to paint grass over it very quickly. Gives a little bit of contour, I think, to our field. A little more realism. Now I'm going to come in and paint some just dirt in here, where there likely would be no grass growing. And I'm also probably going to throw some plants in there that have popped up. I want my yard to be clean of this, but these little gullies would be... They would have stuff in them. Okay, and the gully's probably not the right term. Again, completely slipping my mind. There we go, I like that. Okay, let's put a fence back in now. So decorations, I'm going to do a white fence, right, because we won the lottery. And I'm not going to come all the way down. I'm going to actually bring the fence from, like, right here over. And I am going to square this one up just because, well, there's really no other need to not square that up. I'll bring this back to here, and I'm going to leave that like that for a moment while I come to the front. And instead of squaring this one, I'm just going to give it a nice little arc. Since we own all of this property, there was a fence down here, which is still up, by the way, which is kind of cool. Oh, can I delete that? It is not going to let me delete that fence. Okay, that's okay. No worries. We'll probably bring this fence down to that other fence right along the street. And I'm probably going to have to bring it out a little bit to avoid those trees. That is okay. To about here. That's going to annoy me. So I might bring it out a little bit, and then I might bring it back, because I want it to come to here. And that's... I could delete the trees, but we're really close. In fact, how are we doing? We are at 48 minutes. Oh my goodness. What are we going to do now? Well, we got to get our barn in. Because again, that we want horses. We want horses. So this I'm not going to buy. I'm going to show you a trick that I do. I'm not going to buy in my animals. You could go to horses, and you could just drop down, right? A simple, you just put anything you want down, right? And that would be cool. Well, now the horses are going to be, like, restricted to this area. And the color, like, it doesn't really match the house. So here's what you can do. You can get the basic pastures mod. And this is going to allow you to put down a pasture anywhere. And you can actually push a button and those outer corners will go down. So we can have free roaming animals. This is all platforms. But first, I'm going to build my own custom barn. There's the horse barn that was on the main property. And I really, really like that. Should I use it? It's a great mod, but again, I want to stick to what I was saying. I'm going to build my own. So I'm going to come into buildings. Actually, it's in tools. I like this hall with workshop mod. It also kind of matches my house. A little bit it matches my roof, but I can change the color, I think, of the roof. Can I get it close? Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to put this right there. Now this is where we're going to get creative, okay? I am now going to pay attention to where, so you can see we've got the leveling that came in there. That's okay though. I'm going to demo. Yes, okay. Back into landscaping. I'm going to choose my flattening tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and go as far out as I need and flatten that area where perimeter of that placeable went. This is about the full size of what I need. If I come back into buildings, it's in tools, and I'm going to grab that. Did it save the... It did not save the color of my roof, but I think that's it. Okay, I'm going to drop this right there. Okay. Now over to sheds. And now I'm going to put in something as like a walk-through, pass-through shed like this. Let's change the color to match as close as possible. Yes. Okay, where's the front? Okay, the door's on that side. I'm going to put this like right there. It helped me out a little bit because I didn't do a great job on that. leveling. Now I'm going to put something... Let's go into sheds. Probably going to have to break out of all platform mods. I like this. Can I change the color of that? No, but I don't mind it. Go put this right there. Okay. Now, I've got leveling like all over the place. It's crazy. So I'm going to come back into landscaping. I'm going to choose the flattening tool. Instead of deleting, because we don't have a ton of time, I'm just going to come in here. And I want to go outside pretty far from where the level of the placeable is, because I'm going to use smoothing. And I want it to smooth really, really well. There we go. So this is going to be our, like, pseudo barn in the back. That is not a animal husbandry at all. And this shows you how you can make your own stuff in this game. Just have fun with it. And there's no right or wrong way. In fact, I'm sure if given more time, you, someone, anyone could make a far better version of this than what I am doing. So now see that little corner popped up right there? I hate that, but I'm gonna live with it for now. Just for now. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna paint a little bit of grass over here. So I'm gonna add some details. So I want a little walkway in there. And I want that. I like where, you know, it's not all dirt, like there's little pieces of grass that pop up. Oh boy, I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to feel it. Oh, 54 minutes. Again, but I add 6 to that, so I've still got a little bit of time. Still a little bit of time. Okay, plants. Let's come in here. Let's put some grass. There. Grass there. Grass there. I think that grass right here is going to be fine for what I'm doing. It's going to cover up that little edge that's popping up. I don't love it, but... now on this, so let's run over to the... sorry, I had to turn my controller back on. I do use a Xbox controller. So this is a... That's where I can store my equipment. You know, horses could, in theory, come in here. We're not even close to being done here, folks. But this is kind of my idea. It's a 3-building setup. Now we just kind of got to finish it up and actually make it look like something. I think landscaping, painting, the plants, a little grass here. I'm probably going to come back into this and we'll make this like a little parking area, probably where I like pull up the truck. That. Plants to here. Let's fill this in. Whoops. What do you do when that happens? Oh, grass grows everywhere. So painting to a little bit of gravel, and then just like, you know, dabble that in there. Grass grows everywhere. Okay, now we can finish out, I think, our... So over here we had this fence that we did not complete. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to finish this. This is going to come over here, and I think I'll probably... You know what? I'm going to run it. No, you know what I'm going to do? Idiot. I'm going to run it. We're going to run multiple fences here, I think. So we could potentially have multiple pastures. And I want that to be fairly straight. I'm going to try to run it up to a... that other fence that's there. Just like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to come here, and I'm going to run this over to here. And then I want to put in standby. I love these gates. Where are they at? Where are you at? Gates that I love. Where are you at? There you are. So let me see, can I do... It's going to collide, but I'm going to try and sneak it in there. Just going to try and sneak it. It's a little wonky, but I think you could potentially make that work. So there's that. We could walk in there, like that. And this is more like the pasture area out back. Okay. Let's go to dirt. And the animals would probably come in right around here. A big piece of like no grass, and then it would start to just thin out. You know, I don't really want like super hard corners. It might just continue all the way out through here where our grass isn't perfect. Kind of like that. Now, hey, we've got to put some grass on these. This is going to be kind of my pseudo-husbandry, where the animals are going to be. And I know I haven't actually put down the quote-unquote pasture yet. I will. Let's see here. Painting. How's our time? Are we there? Ah, we got 6 minutes. We might go a little over on this one, folks. I do apologize. So, won't be exactly 60 minutes, but is it worth finishing? I think it's worth finishing. Is it worth finishing? Yeah. Again, this is a modern, like, rich family hobby farm that they want horses. Very different from the other two maps that we've done. You may like it, you may not. Let's see here. I need to put fencing or a gate. Gate right there. We've got a gate into here, but we need to actually have it attached to something. I gotta fix that. That's gonna drive me crazy, folks. I might not be able to use the gate that I really wanted right there. I might have to use this, which is fine. that, and I'm going to delete this little thing right here. Be careful when doing this so you don't delete your... you don't delete everything. Like your building. You don't want to do that. Another gate there. Just look at this. Put that down. We also have to have a way to actually connect that area to the house. So I'm thinking here a little bit. We probably would demo this right about here. We do like this. Because we've got to get over to that area. I have a feeling this would work just fine. And again, we're going to have a pasture out here as well, so we've kind of got to continue this. Maybe we don't have a pasture out here. But we have a pasture here. And this comes off like this. And that's just area where we mow hay. Yes. Okay. We got to get animals in here. So this is what we're going to do. Come to animals. And we're going to choose the horses. And we're going to use the basic pastures mod. And again, this is all platforms. And we're just going to drop this in here. Like that. We can put it like this. Rotate this way. I don't want my horses going out on the street, but I don't mind if they are slightly over a fence. It doesn't bother me too much. Okay, now, let's let the computer save. That's a really good idea. That would have been awful had we not saved. Okay, so what do we do here? We got to get some animals. So you come over here. We buy some animals. What do you say about, I don't know, let's get a couple babies. Babies are always cute. We'll try this. Yes. You know, 4 of those. Yep. And then, oh, I love a palomino, so let's get a mommy. Select, like, one of those. Buy, yes. Let's buy one of those. Select. Yes. Okay, so now we've got horses just having a great old time out here. Okay. How do we get rid of these posts? You just walk up here to this little guy. And I believe it's R. No, it's left button. And they like shrink into the ground. And now they're gone. Now you can see there are horses just having a good old time out here in that pasture. And just repeat the same thing over here. And we got to do a little bit to this. That's not a problem. So let's put some... Let's put some gray horses. Select that. Let's get like 5 of those. And we'll put a couple of females in there. There they are. We're just out here enjoying the free roam of the open pasture. And this is how we built our own custom husbandry, barn, pasture, where you don't have to wait for an actual item to come out for all platforms. Just build your own. But we're not completely done yet, folks. I know we're right at that 60-minute mark. I'm going to keep going with this because I'm having fun. So I think it's maybe worth finishing. Let's just kind of smooth out some stuff here. I need to get rid of those spikes, too. Go. We run over and get rid of these. And I think you can probably see them. They just, like, they drop into the ground. I do not need to add that device. Go away. And they stopped. Why did they stop? Oh, I know why. Okay. Sometimes there's not enough room for them to go all the way in the ground. It's kind of weird, so you get like this pole. Just come into landscaping, grab a tree, something that's really bushy, and just like stick it there. Alright, now we need more trees on this property. So, let's throw some nice trees down. I'm just going to go with elms, probably. A couple of really big ones. Trees really start to add so much to this game. That. I do not know why my Google keeps popping up. I guess I'm apparently out of storage. There's the farm. And we'll go ahead and push the time forward a little bit and maybe move into a nice fall month so we can see the trees. And you can see the lights in the pool as promised. Such a cool little detail. I really, really love that. This is really completely different from the other farms that I made. We took what was the small cow farm just on the outskirts of town, and we turned it into what I would consider to be a hobby farm. A hobby farm where, you know, someone came into some money, they bought it, they have no clue what they want to do, but they know they want horses, so they've got horses. 2 fairly big pastures, a big barn set, and then a really, really nice house with a couple of fields in the back, which, you know, likely are grass right now. Maybe they'll get some equipment and start making hay, would be my guess. We took the house that's actually part of the Alma, Missouri map on the main farm, and we used that, but we added a really big porch and our own custom pool. These were not placeable items. We just made these ourselves. And you can too. And same with the horse farm, the horse barn part of the map. We didn't use a preset placeable. We took 3 items, laid them down, and turned them into something that is our own custom horse husbandry. We used items from the basic Pastures pack, which is available for all platforms. And that allowed us to make however big of a field or pasture we wanted, then we just fenced it in. And the animals just happily walk around in that fenced-in area with their food, water, and other items right there in the center. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think about this farm, or if there's any others you'd like to see built right here on the farm with the Stovers.